So this reminds me of Louisiana, this red soil, the landscape. So I'm just going to turn the camera around and just let you see the beauty of this land. So let's just take a look at this beautiful nature, this beautiful landscape. Even though it's in the city, there's still a lot of beauty. And I love this red soil. I don't know if it would be considered clay. In America, eating clay was considered beneficial to the health because of all the minerals. And as a little girl, I remember a friend of the family, and she was pregnant. And I remember we went over her house one day, and she had red clay, but it was like it was broken up, it was ground up, and that's what she would every now and then take a spoonful and eat it. And I was only 5 years old, but I still remember this. And she said for the minerals, it was good for her pregnancy, for the baby and herself. Okay, so I was thinking I might be able to turn down the street, and I'll see if I can make a left and then start heading back to where I live. It's kind of overcast today, but I know any second, any minute, but more than likely seconds, the sun is going to be really bright and sunny. You know, they say in America, Southern California is always sunny, or it never rains in Southern California. It's always sunny. But I have found Nairobi, Kenya to be even more perfect weather than in Southern California. Okay, so I'll walk a little further down and I'll see. Okay, so I did turn down the street, and I don't see directly where it will lead me to the compound that I live in. I see a couple of nice little stores to the side, but I'm going to protect the, excuse me for talking so low, but I'm going to protect the people's privacy because they didn't ask to be put on film. And actually, I don't think this is the way that I need to go. I kind of think it's like a private street. But what I want to mention, I've had some people tell me, be safe in Nairobi. And I do appreciate the concern. I really do. I believe wherever you go, you should be safe. I'll pick this back up. This is not the street that I need to be on, and I just want to protect the privacy, so I'll cut off the camera and come back on. Okay, I'm back. So, you know, I was thinking about just getting out of that neighborhood just so I could get back on this path to record, and I lost my manners. I passed by a group of ladies and didn't even speak. So you know what I had to do. I had to backtrack and go back and say hello to my sisters, and it was a beautiful experience. It was only for a few seconds, but yeah, you know, in America sometimes we're just so used to passing by each other and not speaking, but I believe in Africa, and from what I've heard on videos, that people acknowledge each other, and to me that's the most humane, civil thing to do. So, you know, every chance I get, I acknowledge. And you know, everywhere you go, sometimes people will not acknowledge you back, and that's okay. Never take it personal. But for here, for the most part in Kenya, everybody has acknowledged me back, but maybe except for one or two. And one time, actually 2 times, I believe they had like some earplugs in their ears and they were listening to something. And I know one was exercising. she was, you know, I could tell she was exercising. And then later on that evening when I went to walk, she was running this time, but the first time it was more like she was walking. And then the other sister, she just had such a pleasant look on her face. Even though she didn't respond back, I could tell she was just taking in the beauty. So, you know, sometimes people will not acknowledge you back, but never take offense to it. Just be happy that you acknowledged that fellow human being. Excuse me, I may have, pardon me, I have to sneeze. I'll probably cut that out. And then again, I might, if you hear it, it's because I thought it was just all in everyday life. We're making a video, you know. That's what we do. We sneeze sometimes. So, have to do it again. Might have an allergic reaction to something in the air. In the States, it's usually pollen during the springtime, the stuff coming from the trees. And so I'm trying to, oh yes, this is what I was talking about. People telling me to be careful. I've had about 4 or 5, not too many, but I have not had a fear since I've been here walking, whether in the evening time or in the daytime. Asante sana, assalamu alaikum. I love you all.